It was an ordinary Saturday morning in Tehran, February 20th, 2026, 6:27 in the morning. The sun had barely come up. People were heading to work. Kids were walking to school. Because Saturday is a normal working day in Iran, nothing felt unusual, nothing felt dangerous. But deep inside a heavily guarded compound, in the heart of Tehran, the most powerful man in the country was sitting in the same room. Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, senior officials, top military commanders, the people who actually run the country, all of them together in one place. And somewhere thousands of kilometers away, someone already knew that. They had been watching for months, every moment, every meeting, every pattern, quietly, patiently, without a single mistake. At exactly 6:27 a.m., before Tehran had even finished waking up, Israel warplanes appeared in the sky. No warning, no announcement, just the sound of jets. Then missiles, then silence. By the time the dust settled, the man who had ruled Iran with an iron fist for 36 years was dead. His daughter, his son-in-law, his granddaughter were dead. His wife critically wounded. She died 2 days later, and the world woke up to a question nobody had an answer for. What happens now? Most of us see Middle East news and think, okay, more missiles, more conflict, more drama. But this time, something is genuinely different. Because what happened on February 20th, 2026 is not just another news cycle. This is a story that's been building for over 40 years. Decades of tension, secret negotiations, failed deals, broken deadlines, and then one morning, it all broke open. To understand what happened on that Saturday morning, you need to understand why these three countries have been circling each other for so long. Iran has been developing nuclear technology for decades. Iran says it's for peaceful energy purpose. But here is what the fact actually show. Just months before the war, UN's own nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, reported that Iran had built up an enormous stockpile of uranium enriched close to weapons grade level. No credible civilian explanation for it. US Special Steve Witkoff revealed something even more alarming, that during the final diplomatic talks in Switzerland, Iranian officials openly admitted that they had enough nuclear material to build 11 nuclear weapons. 11. And Israel, they were not waiting to find out what Iran planned to do with them. Iran had also been funding Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza for years, both groups dedicated to Israel's destruction. So, for Israel, this was not paranoia, it was a countdown. Here is the part of the story most people don't know. This war didn't come out of nowhere. For almost a year, the United States and Iran had been in secret talks, trying to reach a nuclear agreement. Meetings in Oman, then Rome, then Geneva. Iran's foreign minister called it a historic opportunity. On February 25th, just 3 days before the attack, he was still publicly saying a deal was within reach. But behind closed doors, the two sides were far apart. The US demanded Iran completely stop all nuclear enrichment. Iran refused it. President Trump had given Iran a 10-day deadline. The deadline passed. On the evening of February 27th, the third round of talks in Geneva ended. No deal. And less than 12 hours later, the bombs started falling. While diplomats were still talking in Geneva, something very different was already happening in the background. According to some intelligence report, Ali Khamenei may have been tracked for months. This sounds simple. It was anything, but Khamenei kept no public schedule. Every time Khamenei moved, fake vehicles scattered in every direction. Underground routes replaced open roads. Even his own people didn't always know where he was really. But intelligence work is not about one big break. It's about patience. Surveillance, satellites, intercepted communications, cyber systems running quietly in the background, and crucially, human sources inside Iran, feeding information piece by piece over months. Slowly, the picture became clear. which buildings he trusted, which compounds he used, who was always with him when the big meetings happened, and then came the confirmation that changed everything. A high-level meeting of Iran's top leadership was scheduled inside a fortified compound in central Tehran. From the outside, it looked like a regular government building. Underground, it was a bunker. Reinforced concrete, multiple security rings, built to survive almost anything. Khamenei was confirmed to be inside it. The attack was set for 6:27 in the morning. Daylight, not night. A calculated decision. Higher risk, but the window was too important to miss. Israel launched what it called Operation Roaring Lion. But before a single bomb could reach the Tehran, Iran's air defenses had to be neutralized. Stealth jets moved in first, low, silent. Below the reach of Iran's radar systems, the Bavar 373, the Russian-built S-300, some of the most advanced defense technology Iran had. One by one, they went dark. The path of Tehran opened up. High above Tehran, the bomber was already on approach. Bunker buster bombs, weapons designed to drill through concrete and explode deep underground. The compound was the target. The bombs were released, and then a massive explosion shook central Tehran. The underground structure collapsed. The building above was completely destroyed, and Khamenei was dead. Confirmed the next morning, March 1st, by Iranian state media itself. Iran declared 40 days of national mourning. This is where the story becomes something much bigger. The United States launched a full military campaign alongside Israel, targeting more than 2,000 strategic locations across Iran. Military bases, missiles, radar networks, drone production facilities, nuclear sites including Natanz, naval assets. By the day 5, the US had sunk more than 20 Iranian warships, including their top submarine. By the end of first week, over 3,000 targets had been struck. And here is the detail that captures just how complete the operation was. When reporter asked Trump about Iran's potential new leadership, he said something extraordinary. The attack was so successful, it knocked out most of the candidates. It's not going to be anybody that we are thinking of because they are all dead. In the middle of all this, while bombs were still falling, Iran had to find a new supreme leader. The man being pushed to the front was Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the man just killed, 56 years old. He is deeply connected to IRGC, known for operating entirely behind the scenes for over 27 years. For years, he had enormous influence over the media, universities, elections, security forces, without ever holding an official position. Reportedly, worth billions, with luxury property in London and Dubai, despite being under US sanctions since 2019. Here is the twist. His own father had reportedly opposed the idea of his son succeeding him. Khamenei himself did not want a dynasty, but the IRGC had other ideas. Under heavy pressure from the Revolutionary Guard, the Assembly of Experts rushed through a vote while still under attack. Reports say the online meeting was described by members as unnatural, with opposition voices given almost no time to speak. And then US and Israeli bombs hit the Assembly's office in QOI right after the votes were cast. Before the count was even complete, Mojtaba Khamenei was reportedly selected as Iran's new supreme leader. Trump immediately said the United States would not recognize him, and Israel warned that new leader would be, in their exact words, unequivocal target for elimination. Iran was not finished. Thousands of missiles and drones were launched towards Israel. 40 buildings damaged in one day alone. American military bases were targeted across the region. At least 27 bases in the Middle East where US troops were deployed. The US Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain was hit multiple times. Qatar, home to the AI Air Base, America's largest in the region, was struck by ballistic missiles. Qatar Airways grounded all flights. Schools shut down. Public gatherings banned. Saudi Arabia's capital, Riyadh, and its major oil infrastructure came under fire. Kuwait reported US war panels crashing on its soil. All crews survived. Lebanon's Hezbollah entered on March 2nd, firing on northern Israel, prompting Israel to expand strikes into Lebanon. The death toll across the region climbed by the day. And that narrow sea passage between the Iran and UAE Strait of Hormuz, the one that carries 20% of world's daily oil supply, was right in the middle of all of it. Qatar halted all gas production. Oil prices surged. The shock wave was not staying in the Middle East anymore. Now, Russia stepped in quietly. President Putin called Iran's new president, offering condolences, and reportedly began sharing intelligence on US military positions with Tehran. Kremlin noted that the war had created significant increase in the demand for Russian energy. Trump demanded Iran's unconditional surrender. Iran's deputy foreign minister warned European countries they could become legitimate targets if they joined US-Israeli operation. The UK deployed fighter jets, helicopters, and a destroyer to protect Saudi Arabia. And inside Iran, the reaction was split. Some people were in the streets mourning. Others, especially those who had survived the brutal crackdowns of 2025 and 2026, when thousands of protesters were killed, were quietly celebrating. Here is what you need to sit with for a moment. This war didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was built on decades of nuclear brinkmanship, secret operations, failed diplomacy, and calculated decisions made by people whose names we will never know. 2 days before the attack, Iran was calling it as historic opportunity for peace. 2 days later, Tehran was burning. Sometimes the most important turning points in the history don't come with warnings. They come at 6:27 in the morning, before the world has even had its first cup of tea. So tell me honestly, who do you think comes out of this stronger? Iran, now fighting under a new leader nobody voted for, chosen under pressure with bombs still falling. Israel, which just killed the man it had feared for decades. Or the United States, which came in, destroyed most of Iran's military infrastructure in a week, and is now demanding unconditional surrender. And here is the question that I can't stop thinking about. Look at the timing. Right when the Epstein files were about to become the biggest conversation in the world, suddenly a war breaks out. Suddenly every news channel has a headline to chase. Suddenly nobody is talking about the names, documents, or powerful people connected to those files anymore. Is that a coincidence? Or is this exactly how distraction works at the highest levels of power? You light a fire somewhere else, and quietly the thing people were actually asking about just disappears from the conversation. Maybe the most powerful weapon in the world is not a missile, it's attention. And someone just used it. Drop your honest thoughts in the comments. Do you think this war is about nuclear weapons, or is it cover for something much bigger? If this video made you think, hit subscribe, because this story is not over, not even close. See you